Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Thoughts to Think About. I'm Liz.
I'm Reid.
And I'm Johnathan.
And we've got some thoughts for you to think about today. Actually, Johnathan has some final thoughts for you to think about. Hop on over to YouTube because his homie is wearing his funeral clothes.
I'm being thoughts to think about.
Laid to rest.
Yeah, laid to rest.
Johnathan did request a Viking funeral.
Yeah, but there's no flaming arrows that I can see.
Oh, there will be.
They're waiting outside the door right now.
We're going to the Trinity River and
Send him on down.
send me out the bay.
No, well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for stepping in these months while Ephraim has been on paternity leave.
It's been
with
so
his
much fun.
babies.
We have such good paternity leave in our podcast
Honestly,
group. Like,
can companies just like take from us
Right.
and see what we
I
model?
mean, how long has he been gone? Like 3 months? That's a lot of
feels-
paternity leave, right? Jeez.
Homie's been gone for a long time.
And for kids, who needs kids, right? Oh, sorry.
That silence is very loud right now. No, but this we'll most likely have Jonathan on a handful more times in the coming future.
I'll
So
make another
Depending on
appearance
how
or
this
two.
episode goes. And
oh,
how our viewership was when he was around. If our viewership tanked while he was here, he's never touching this podcast again.
I just want to point out that you got to
My
1,500
Lord.
downloads while I was on board.
That's true.
So
1,500 downloads.
Before we hit 1,500 episodes. So that's a big step.
That's a
I
good-
don't
it's a
understand
good
your
ratio.
logic. There's at least 3 listens, 3 downloads.
So we got to
You mean
1,500
Ephraim.
downloads before 500 episodes. I mean, that's
good.
That means somebody else downloaded it. And that's really all I've been shooting for this whole time.
Right.
At least one other person.
It's true. It
My
has
mom.
been. It has
Rhonda.
been like
I don't think she listens.
Oh, okay.
awkward. It has been fun. Like, you know, we joke.
Please don't say my mom's name. I'm sorry, let's go.
Bleep it out. Bleep it out. Oh no.
Farm Road.
Oh no, Jonathan, shut up.
There's going to be a real arrow soon, buddy.
We're never seeing this guy again on this spot. No, but it's been fun just hanging out with friends, doing this thing. It's weird that other people do listen, but I feel like creating your own podcast is kind of like the new YouTube channel or like new, like I made an Instagram page for this thing.
My dog.
Yeah, right.
I feel like this conversation is something we should have talked about last episode on our 50th. Like a look back at, what
Yeah.
it was to be a podcast.
Yeah.
our
Now we're
50th episode.
celebrating all 50 episodes.
Right.
On the
Right.
51st.
That's fair. Yeah.
The
We just-
spin.
Obviously, so much planning goes into every single.
It's because Ephraim's usually the one who's guiding us. And we've just been out on a limb floating in the nether without him. So
Okay.
we need you,
That's
man.
very dramatic.
We need you.
Okay.
Hot tub stream coming up.
Hot tub stream. We do have some interesting ideas for some future podcast episodes.
Big yikes. What goes into
Liz is not invited to the podcast.
I don't want to
hot
go
podcast.
I don't want to go to that.
You're
at
not
all.
invited, so
I
you don't have to
well,
go.
I don't want to go. Anyways, what goes into a Viking funeral?
Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
So we're going back here, are we?
My first episode on the podcast, we talked about The Hobbit. My last episode on the podcast, we're going to the rings.
I have not watched the Hobbit
That's great. I'm so proud of you.
because I kind of forgot about.
Don't do it.
Its existence.
Don't watch it. It's
Okay.
not worth it. We don't need to go back here.
But what goes in? I still want to know.
So, you watched the first one. You saw Boromir die and get put into one of those Lothlorien canoes and sent
Yeah,
off down the
I fully
river. Right?
remember
And
everything.
he goes down the waterfall.
It's a couple years
it's a little
ago.
bit different in Viking funeral.
Right.
At least the way I remember Viking funerals. Basically, you will put them in a canoe with all of their like war effects, their war implements and tools.
Accessories.
Right. Their accessories, their purses and things. You'll push
Their
them
hair curler.
Right.
And
Yeah.
The heatless
eyebrow
curling
things.
rods.
And,
Yeah.
Gua sha
Gua
stones,
sha.
gua sha stones and stuff. Yeah, you push them out into the lake or out into the ocean, wherever you are burying them. Then you light an arrow, and from a great distance, you
Oh, okay.
shoot
I
it and
vaguely
light 'em on
remember
fire.
this scene.
Yeah, they didn't light Boromir on fire.
Right.
But, they send him
There's similar
down the
aesthetics
waterfall.
that
Yeah,
take place.
absolutely.
So eventually, it just like burns to ash and goes into the water.
And I sink.
Yeah.
And we're making it personal, and then you sink.
Yes.
Which goes right into a great story about how Reid
I
almost
know.
killed me.
Indeed.
Y'all have like talked about this a little bit here and there, and so I'm very ready for this story.
So Johnathan and I have known each other for a long time, since 6th grade. One of the very early things that Johnathan and I did together, we were in band together.
For 1 year.
Although I think we had different band periods.
We did.
Yes.
Because you had art when I had band, and I
Right.
had band when you had art.
Can I guess what you played?
Sure.
Okay, because he's definitely a trumpet player.
But in 6th grade, I played the cornet. It's the same thing.
Same vibe. Same vibe.
Trumpet's much cooler.
I think you played the tuba
I
or the
wish.
trombone.
No.
Were you also a trumpet?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
I was a trumpet for 3/4 of the year, and then I moved to a French horn,
And then he moved
Yes.
to
Okay.
and I moved out of band.
not in band. Yeah.
French
'Cause I was
horn.
not very good at
French
it.
horn. Oh,
French horn is hard.
it's really hard. Yeah,
yeah.
should have done like drums or something.
Yeah. The problem was that everyone wanted to be in drums.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be a
Because
percussionist.
that's the cool thing to do.
Right. And so when I didn't even try out for it, I was like, screw it. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I don't
even
really care
care.
that much about it.
Did you hear the story about? Were you on the podcast when I told the story about me failing at the drum audition?
No.
Basically, I went to the drum audition, and Mr. Goodson was the band director. And he was like, okay, just strike the drum, and like, I'm a little 6th grader. Like, I'm not tall.
You
I was
were
short.
a scrawny little pipsqueak at the time.
And so it felt like, I don't know how tall the drum actually was, but it felt like it was up here, like at my eye level. And so I'm like trying to play the drum, and the first strike, I hit the edge of the drum instead of the...
Ooh, embarrassing.
Instead of the...
You hit the rim.
Yeah,
not
I hit the rim instead of the...
drum head.
The the head. And immediately he's like, "No, get out of here." I was like, "What?" He's like, "No, you don't got it."
You don't
I
got
was
it.
like,
You ain't got
"What?"
a kid.
Because there was literally like everybody was trying out, so it's like basically he didn't want any trash.
No, I
people.
was a better piano player, and I could handle a handful of chords on a guitar, but I was not good at like the horn instruments or anything of that sort.
And you don't play either of those anymore, piano or guitar?
If you put me on a keyboard and some like basic sheet music, I could probably get through it, but I haven't touched a keyboard in a decade, so.
Yeah, I'm basically the same way.
And I could play a G chord probably still. That's about it.
Solid.
So yeah, Johnathan and I were in band together, and at the end of the year, we got to go on a band field trip.
Band trip.
And Johnathan and I were friends from other classes, which is great. We were in science together freshman year or 6th grade year.
We were in probably half our schedule together.
Yeah, I specifically remember science because we did lots of science experiments.
Right. Shout out to Mr. Staten.
Yes. Anyway, we're just reminiscing.
It's just
You
so
get
much
to-
information.
You just
like,
get to ride
name
along
dropping.
on the reminiscing.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you had a stalker, this would be a gold mine for them.
They can have it all.
Johnathan welcomes it.
Somebody give me attention.
And if you want to reach out to Johnathan, look in the episode description for all of his online dating profiles.
Wow.
Screenshots included.
Okay.
A little throwback to last week. Anyway, we got to go on a field trip to what used to be called Splash Town in spring.
yeah. Uh-huh.
It is now called Wet and Wild Hurricane Harbor, which I think that name is
So
atrocious.
dumb.
So Six Flags bought it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they did. So I guess it's Six Flags Wet and Wild Hurricane Harbor, which is just a lot.
It's a lot. Hurricane Harbor.
So we got to go there, and me and Johnathan, and we had another friend that was with us.
James,
yes. We decided it was going to be a great idea for us to go to the wave pool as 6th graders, which is fine.
which is fine.
But
There's
then,
a lot of people in the wave pool hanging.
yeah. At the peak of the wave pool
Oh, no.
waves, we decided let's swim to the deep part and climb out the ladder.
And this isn't like
Yeah.
the lazy river wave pool that shoots like a wave out and just like, or everyone's up. Not like this is
No.
like a wave pool,
Like
and
10-foot waves.
I remember the one in spring, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that wave pool because my life has flashed before my eyes several times in that wave pool.
Yes.
Well, mine's about to.
So James climbs up first,
Yeah.
and then I climb up. And as I'm climbing, my foot slips, and I kick Johnathan in the face. And so Johnathan throws his head back to take a breath and like recover from the kick as a wave splashes over Jonathan's face. So Jonathan's clinging on for dear life.
Well, I lose it. Like I lost the ladder, and that like I think while you were kicking me, I lost the ladder, and then the wave engulfed me.
Yeah.
And so like I'm flailing in the water for a few moments.
I've climbed out, and I'm on the edge looking down at Johnathan trying to climb the ladder and not die.
And you're not helping him?
I'm a kid. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's your friend, bro.
Listen, Reid in 6th grade is not helping me in this situation.
Jonathan had like double my weight, like double my body mass. Like
Yeah, easily.
I was scrawny and Jonathan was a big kid. So like there's no way I'm
There's
helping
no way.
him. No way.
Like I was almost this exact size now in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
He's not far off.
Like honestly, I was probably a few inches shorter
That's crazy.
and I don't know, maybe 20, 30 pounds lighter.
And
Goodness.
I'm literally in 6th grade. I'm like half my size
You're
or
half
less.
your size in
Late
6th grade.
bloomer. Well, I guess no, not really. Just early.
Reid grew up like his between 8th grade and sophomore year.
Yes.
Um,
So anyway, I'm standing on the edge of the wave
I
pool.
finally get a hold of like the ladder of the siding, and I'm just like trying to hold on. I'm
I-
trying not to lose.
I'm
it
pretty
again.
sure Jonathan's just waiting for the waves to stop. And so the lifeguard eventually stands up, blows his whistle, jumps in to save Jonathan. They had to turn the wave pool off because there's an active rescue.
Oh my gosh.
So
all the people.
yeah, so
are just
everybody
Just
knows
watches
Jonathan get rescued from the deep end of the wave
There's
pool.
the attention you
Yeah,
wanted.
I got attention for about 10 minutes.
He's
there.
been chasing after that feeling ever since.
Chasing my high.
Oh no.
And it turns out that Mr. Goodson, our band director, had been
Was
sitting in the
witnessing
cabanas
it.
and watched the whole
Oh,
thing
what
happen.
a charge.
Well, he's far away,
Yeah, he
and there's
was-
no way that dude was gonna save us because he wasn't in good shape either. So it was just
Oh,
a bad
no.
situation. Good thing they have lifeguards on duty because Jonathan might not be here if not for that lifeguard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I swallowed a lot of water, and like it was pretty bad. It was so bad that we were there for like another several hours. Like this was pretty early on in the trip. I didn't go on a single slide or anything else for the rest of the trip.
He's
Like,
actually
I just
never-
kind of like walked around and just like followed my friends, and like they had fun and whatnot. I just kind of walked around like a sad puppy. Like I was like beat up.
But like,
internally.
after that trauma, you just kind of like
I was-
reflect on your life choices.
He's never been back to a water park.
That's not entirely true.
I hate water parks, so I don't blame you.
I kind of love water parks.
I would be down to go to like a Schlitterbahn or something like that again. It's been again probably about a decade and a
Really?
half since I've been.
Wow.
So
So yeah, I almost killed Jonathan at Splashdown.
yeah,
Um,
and then you flash forward a couple years and we're at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah, I know you told me what story you were going to tell before the podcast, but I totally forgot again. Man, I was like, where are we going with this?
we're at your house and we're going to run across like this field to another person's house.
Yep.
Because I think it was your younger brother had like his friend was over there, and we were going to bring him over to
Right.
where we were.
Just run around in the country at night
Yeah,
with
just-
giant sticks.
And
We
so,
would. So to preface this story, my brothers and I, we were really into sword fighting because we loved Lord of the Rings, right? And so we would literally go to the woods behind my grandparents' house, find saplings, chop them down, shave all of the bark off, and we would use them to sword fight with. And like not like, oh tink tink, oh
No,
we're
like
sword
they were
fighting.
going hard.
Like seriously, my brother fractured my wrist
Oh my
sword fighting.
gosh.
And like we would have bruises and like broken bones from like smacking each other.
That's insane.
One time my brother stabbed me in between the eyes with this stick that he had cut, and I'm lucky it didn't like slip into my eyeball and take my eye out. Like
and while your brother wasn't like a big guy, like he was an offensive lineman for our football team and like
yeah,
pretty strong.
No, they're both
and-
bigger than me.
Yeah, like
so they're big guys.
they're bigger people. And so like even when I would go to your house and I was a bigger kid too. Like
Right.
he would pick me up and throw me.
Right.
And
Yeah. A lot of trampoline wrestling
he threw
going
me
Yeah,
into my
obviously.
face one time, and I
Right.
thought like I lost my vision for a minute.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. So we're running down
we're
in
running.
the field, and we have these giant swords made of trees,
Yeah.
essentially,
Made of trees.
that we've cut down. And we're just, we're in middle school. We're like having a good time,
Yeah, just being
pretending or whatever.
dumb.
rambunctious.
Being goons.
Right. Using our imaginations.
Imagination.
And
That's SpongeBob.
I don't remember. I think were we even like sword fighting at the time, or
No.
we were just running,
We
and
were
I was
just
just
running.
swinging my stick
You
around.
just had one in your hand. I did not have one in my hand, and we were just running, and you're just flailing around doing stupid stuff.
Star Wars or something,
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
in my mind, because I was also really big into Star Wars.
And you swung this thing like in my direction.
Yeah.
And it's really late at night. There's no like sidewalk lamps. Like
Right.
we're in like a field.
The dark in the country. It's the country dark, not the Houston dark.
Yeah. And I feel this wind brush my nose.
No.
And like in that instant, I remember just like, oh, this is how I die.
Just like 2 inches closer,
Yeah.
right up to the temple.
Like I'm taking that off the side of the head.
Dead.
And
Did you just turn
immediately I
on
was
like whipped him?
I probably didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like I'm pretty sure he had no idea like where like he was in correlation to me.
He was just
especially with the stick in his hand.
just a B1 battle droid in the way.
Yeah. And we eventually make it over to the house and back, and I survived. But yeah, you've injured me well, the splashdown incident is a memorable one, and then I will always remember like that feeling of that wood like brushing my nose and feeling the wind off of that.
I remember the day Johnathan quit playing football. We were in middle school. You quit in middle school, right?
That 7th grade year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So we're in middle school, and middle school football had morning practice because high school had afternoon practice.
Right.
So we have to be there at like 6 a.m. to do practice for an
Ugh.
hour before school starts.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on the coach. Like we're all out there in our pads waiting for the coaches. And you put like 50 middle school kids out there in full pads with no coach supervision at all. They're gonna do stupid stuff.
When I broke my wrist.
100%.
This might be the same incident that I'm talking about.
No, that's not.
Oh,
Okay.
my memory
Continue.
might be foggy. But anyway, so a bunch of guys are like, yeah, let's do hitting drills. And so
Bull
they're all
ring,
like,
baby.
they're all like, let's just get down
throw
dirty and do
bodies at
hitting
each other.
drills. Yeah, we're just going to hit each other because that's what you do in football. You just hit each other.
Basically.
I was like, I was not good at football at this point, so I was not about to volunteer to be part of hitting drills. But Johnathan was a bigger kid, so he's like, he's a big deal on the line. So he's like, guys are doing hitting drills. Johnathan gets into the hitting drill with somebody, but they do it from like a 3-point stance, and they collide. And I don't remember what part of you broke, but some part of you broke. So it was your wrist at that
My
point.
right wrist.
So Johnathan breaks his wrist before school doing hitting drills with no coaching supervision. And I don't remember if you played
So,
anymore after that ever.
I did. This was 8th grade year, and I didn't miss a game. Actually,
After the wrist break?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
we
How
just
did you
braced it
still
up
play?
and played.
No. Okay.
What's even worse
It
is
was like a fracture along my ulna. Like it wasn't like my wrist was like broken
Snapped,
in half.
yeah.
Like it was,
Stories like this stress me out when I like think about having children one day, and it's like if I have, because I only grew up with sisters, and like the most injury based whatever is when I made my sister mad when she was helping me practice for softball, and she threw a softball at my face and hit me square like in the eyes by glasses. So like that's as dangerous as we got. It's because we're being petty.
okay,
but
well,
like
Reid jumped off a bed into
this stresses me out.
a treadmill and like
I was
had a gash
3.
over your
I was
eye.
3.
Right, but like, that's what boys do.
Right.
Yes.
Like I've had stitches
Well,
in my knee and staples in my head.
The story is I didn't jump off. I was
jumped
bounced
off.
off by my sister. So,
Boys get hurt.
yeah.
So
I was good.
it was Jay.
Yeah. I do
so
remember that.
My hand went like got in between our helmets essentially, and so like his face mask like basically like crunched my wrist
Mm-hmm.
in,
Ugh.
And so like my ulna was broken, but my radius was fine.
I have this scar from a similar situation in football where these two brothers, not in the same grade, but they were two brothers, were mad at each other. And we were all at football practice. This is in high school. And so we're supposed to be doing like light contact just to like run through like situations, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm with one of the brothers, the younger brother, and I'm supposed to like, I'm acting like I'm a defensive lineman. He's an offensive lineman or whatever. So we make contact, and the other guy's supposed to come in like a linebacker and help, right? It's like a help block or whatever. But instead of just coming in and doing light contact, he decides that he's mad at his brother, so he's going to light his brother up in this drill. And my finger just happened to be in between their helmets and seriously like gashed all the way down. I'm pretty sure I could see my bone, and it just got a big old scar right here.
I vaguely remember that story.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to get in trouble.
You and Jay?
Well, none of us.
Oh, right. Because we're not supposed to be doing hitting drills
this.
before.
Oh, yeah. How'd this end? Like,
right, sorry.
What?
And so I am clearly hurt. And I'm like,
yes.
Okay, just get in line, just get in line. So we're in our warm-up lines and whatnot.
I do remember this part.
And we're doing like our active warm-up. And somebody flubs up and immediately whistle hits, push-up position. Now I've got this broken wrist. I'm going, you mothers. I needed one day where you didn't screw this up.
There was never going to be a day where we didn't mess up.
And so like we're in position, and like
there's no way
he can't even hold it.
I'm like trying to put all my weight like on my right side. Like my left hand has like 90% of my weight, and then like I'm just trying to like hold my right arm stable, and we get through it somehow. I don't know how we do it.
You probably just thought you didn't know how to do a push-up.
Move. I just probably just stood there and just like prayed that they didn't call me out on it. And then we get into like indie period. So like the lines over here, the DBs are over there.
Right.
And
that's individuals.
Right. Individual drill time. And so we're doing a hand on pad initial step drill with the O-line, D-line. And after I go, I'm like, there's no way. And so like I come up with a plan immediately in my head, like, okay, when I'm on defense here and he blocks me, I'm going to fall on my right side and like make it look like I got hurt during the drill.
This is actually very clever
pre-practice
for an 8th grader.
We were pretty clever in 8th grade.
We thought we were.
We were more clever than other people in 8th grade.
We thought we were.
And so I get blocked, and I kind of like jump into the block. Like I kind of jump backwards into it and like flail to my side, and like I catch my wrist like on the ground, and I full on turn into it, and it hurt so bad. Like I wanted to cry so bad in that moment, but I had succeeded because it looked like I hurt myself. And so I took out of practice, and we went up and nursed the station, called grandma, went and got x-rays. Your ulna's broken, blah, blah, blah. And so it was like, I think I might have missed that week's game, but I had like this stupid yellow brace that they put me in. And then we just taped both sides of it. So like I had like a mini club on, but I still had like finger access.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't have anyone else.
Yeah.
And so it was like I'm playing at the guard spot in a 3 technique, or
I am,
or like we're pulling like a DB down. Like it was like we had 5 big dudes.
Yeah.
And so,
which if anyone is listening in there in like high school sports, it's not worth it to continue playing when you're hurt. It's not worth it.
It's absolutely not worth it.
I mean, I would have done the same thing back then, but
if you're a coach, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to let
Ramey, I don't care if you're broken. Get in there. Keep playing.
So, who was the guy that had like the really tight crew cut? You remember him? And
Coach?
He had like a German last name.
A coach?
Yeah.
I do not know.
I think he was either like D-line or linebackers.
I don't really remember the middle school coaches at all.
He gave me like this big pump up speech, like, you're gonna do you're that guy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy, rah. And so like I played the rest of the season through it, and then the last game, I remember this for the rest of my life. It was the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. Because we were in Somerville, and somebody came from my left side, and like where the play happened over here on the right, and so like I'm jogging to the right over here to get lined up for the next play, and some dude comes in late and cleans me up from my ear hole.
Just ear holes you.
And so like I've got like this broken wrist. I land right on because like I got hit from that side to my right side. My head is spinning. I've got no idea. Like for maybe I don't know 2 minutes, I have no idea where I am. And I come out of the game for like the rest of that drive. But I go back in at some point. But I just remember that being like the most impact I've ever had on the field. Because normally when you're playing line, like you're really not hit very hard normally.
Right.
It's just the consistent like close range contact. But when you're out in the open field and somebody comes at you late, like you can get smoked in those moments. And that dude did not hold back. And the play was dead. He got flagged for it and everything. But
I will say
it was rough.
Ear holding somebody is a lot of fun. But being ear holed is not fun at all.
Fun.
Can you describe like what the heck is that?
So imagine you're just running in a straight line and you're just kind of jogging because you'd have no impact on the play. You have no impact on anything that's happening, and somebody decides that they're going to hit you from your blind spot as hard as they can.
No.
Yeah. And it's so much fun.
Ear hold.
It's
That's
so much
weird.
fun to ear hole somebody, but it is just so bad to be ear holed.
That's weird.
One final story before we leave the football realm because Liz is like, I'm tired of football.
I just have decided in my head that my children will never play football.
It's a great game.
That's
A lot of-
absolutely not.
And it's
a lot
super
of-
safe. Like it really is these days. Like
A lot of kids are moving away from playing tackle until they hit like middle school and
Uh-huh.
they're doing
I
flag
support
football
that,
and
honestly.
stuff. But I convinced our friend JR to play football our freshman year. He had moved to the school freshman year, right?
Yep, from New York.
I convinced him to play. Scrawny dude, really scrawny dude.
Smaller than you.
Yeah, which was saying something back then, and probably now still anyway. So I'd convinced him to play, and he wasn't going to get a lot of playing time. Our first game, he gets put in like at the beginning of the second half.
What
The-
position?
Corner.
and I think he was the free safety.
Oh, it's even better.
Yeah. So he's playing free safety. He has no, like, he really doesn't know what he's doing back there. I mean, he paid attention and he did all the drills and stuff, but he's just like, it's first time in a game situation.
Yeah.
It's like the world's moving at 1,000%. And he just gets sandwiched between two dudes for no reason.
Oh,
like,
no.
like he had no business being part of that play. Like they just came and hit him for no reason. Broke his arm. Like not just a little fracture, like severed the bone.
Yeah, he
broke his arm.
He got way worse than
I
my
think
story.
he has pins in his arm to this day.
Yeah, he did.
Holding his arm together. He never played football again after that, and I felt
Absolutely not.
horrible
Yeah,
for
all
convincing
your
him to play.
fault.
And for the immediately his first time in a game, snapped his arm.
But he got a lot
Poor
of love and
guy.
had a cool cast. Everyone got to sign.
Yeah, Johnathan was like, I wish I had all that attention.
Ever since the wave pool, I've been
Right.
chasing it.
I wanted that.
But like it's crazy because of like the safety measures that people take in equipment these days. Like honestly, the amount of Liz, how much money do you think a standard high school football player, when you put the equipment that the school provides them in, how much money is on that kid on any given
Like
moment?
800?
Ooh, wow, that's way more than I would have thought.
That's actually really close. Like it's. you're
Wait,
probably-
nowadays?
Yeah, you're probably looking at anywhere between $700 and $1,000 per player
Yeah.
in safety equipment.
Yeah.
And so like,
What about when I was playing? Like $200?
I mean, our helmets were
Like
probably
a high five and a nickel, you know?
Our
Good luck.
Our helmets were probably $300 helmets.
Like at your school, like this
No,
past year when
like-
I played,
Yeah.
they did not look like $300 helmets.
They're probably
I'll say
old.
that.
Right, but like currently, like if you go buy like the new Speed Flexes,
Right.
like you're paying $600 a pop, basically.
I mean, most of the time, I wasn't wearing like the new sleek looking ones. I was wearing what it looked like they were wearing in the 80s.
you had a shut air when we were in Trinity,
Yeah.
so
$300?
we were paying about $300 for those.
Interesting. I do remember, I said I wasn't going to tell you more football stories. So,
Lies.
Evadale?
It was in Evadale, I'm pretty sure. I was playing Mike linebacker, and my friend Eric was playing Will linebacker.
That was a home game, wasn't it?
No, Evadale was in Evadale. Pretty sure. That's the one near Port Arthur.
The Eric story?
It might be different. No, this was a away game. Anyway, it doesn't matter where we were. We were playing football, and I'm pursuing the play. Like, this guy's got a big run on the weak side, and I'm pursuing the play, and Eric's pursuing the play at a closer angle. And I see Eric just get ear-holed hard by a dude. And like Eric and I were good buddies, and I was done with the play. I went to check on Eric, and I was like, Eric, are you okay? and he hops up and he goes, whoa, let's do it again. And after that game, he went to the doctor. He had a concussion. he was so concussed. And then he played the next week, I'm pretty sure, and got a concussion again.
Yeah, see, those rules have evolved so much since 2010. There's no way that would fly.
No
way that would fly right now.
But it's just so fun
to
ear hole, but not to be ear hole. And he was so concussed that he had a good time from it. I was like, okay, buddy, whatever.
But as someone who's been coaching high school ball and spent time in college ball too, it's kind of crazy looking at injuries.
Yeah.
And in sports, I swear in the last 5 years that I've been doing this, we've had more injuries in basketball and baseball than we've had in football. And that's a lot of it's because of the advancement of safety issues and safety equipment and safety reasonings in the game. Just this week, I heard 2 kids have elbow injuries, and I'm like, okay, that's nuts. And then 2 of our kids rolled ankles. 1 kid broke his ankle on the basketball court.
Wow.
And I think we had 2 major game altering injuries all year in football. And in a weekend, we had 6 soft tissue or skeletal injuries in basketball and baseball.
This is high school?
Yep.
Wow, that's nuts.
And so it's kind of crazy. A lot of people are moving away from football and it's too dangerous. But honestly, at this point right now, it's probably the safest of the 4 major high school sports,
including soccer.
Yes.
So Liz, how have you terribly injured yourself?
I have actually never. I've only broken a bone, but it was
marching band accident.
Those fatal marching band accidents.
The mass collision.
No, I've been whipped.
Dropped the tube on my toe.
The metronome kept going, so they kept marching, and they wouldn't
trampled
stop.
me. No, I've been whipped in the head multiple times by the color guard flags.
Oh,
because they're not in their spot where they're supposed to be.
You're supposed to be there.
No, my nephew, when he was little, he didn't realize that I was that close to him. But those really big carnival style big plastic swords that are heavy and they light up, and
oh yeah,
those big guys, they're very heavy. Well, he was trying to be cool and put it in his shirt, like a sheath.
Oh yeah,
And he
the back carry,
and he missed
Final Fantasy style.
Yeah,
and it landed straight on my toe.
Ooh,
Broke my toe, so I had to splint it next to each other. That's literally the only bone I broke. I did think when you were telling your wave pool story, have I ever told the story of me going canoeing in a thunderstorm?
No.
No.
I would remember that story.
Yeah.
This was probably I was 22. It's the dumbest thing that I did post sobriety.
Okay.
I was already a year sober and still doing stupid things like this. So I have friends in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So my friend and I, so it's
Cajun.
It's 2012.
Not that Cajun.
Sorry, I didn't know how to help you with if that was a joke.
It was a joke.
Okay.
Sorry.
It was really funny.
It's just color commentary. Let's continue.
Okay.
Crickets.
She doesn't understand how podcasting works. She's supposed to just say yes and continue. And she just was like, I'm going to ignore him. So.
Anyways. So.
If there was one sound to describe her podcast.
Birds.
Tell your story. Tell your story.
So we're in Lake Charles, and it was like 4 of us. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go canoeing. We've already like paid for our spots. Y'all just come. It was me and another girl. We made this, or 2 other girls. We made this trip. And we get there, like we pack all of our snacks. Like it's going to be cute. We have these small little like coolers for each canoe. So there's 2, there's like 4 people, 2 people per canoe. Like it was like a cute time. So that morning, I'm like, it kind of looks like it's going to rain outside. What? Are we still going to go? And they're like, yeah. Like, it's completely fine. It's a pretty far drive. Like, it might be raining here at the house, but it's not going to rain.
Right.
Or we're canoeing. A 9-mile canoe trip. Keep that in mind. 9 miles.
You were canoeing for 9 miles?
9 miles.
Ooh, that's a long canoe trip.
It was very long. So we get there, get the life jackets, get in the canoe. We're about 1.5 miles in. And then the sky goes from like this wonderful sunny sky to completely black clouds covering. And our friend's boat has already like tipped over once.
Nice.
Excellent.
And like rammed into a tree, and all these like spiders fell on them. And
I'm out.
You were in Lake Charles?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Gator country too.
Yeah, straight up.
I mean, I guess here is Gator country, but that's like really Gator
that's
country.
like home base.
Right. It's like the capital.
Yeah. So like
It's where the lizard men live.
my people. So yeah, like in dramatic fashion, we helped them get back in their canoe. Like all of their little cooler of stuff was gone.
Mm-hmm.
They tipped over, and then all of a sudden it just starts raining, and we're like canoeing, barely see her, like wiping the water from our faces.
You need windshield wipers for your canoe.
It was horrible. And like the whole time I'm just like, how is this? What? At one point do we say like, hey, no thank you anymore? But like,
I mean, you're already out there. Is there like, are you next to a road or?
No.
Right. You're out there. You got to finish.
I know we had to finish. But like at some point I just remember start crying, and I'm like, I'm going to die. Cause then I look down, I'm like, this is a freaking metal canoe, and it's like thundering and lightning, and I'm going to die. And it just, here it is.
You're just the goner.
That's where you needed that liquid courage a little bit.
Just take me. If I would have been easier if I was drunk, you know what I'm saying? But
wow, we do not condone alcoholism.
Catone. So
join us next week when it's me, Ephraim, and Johnathan on the podcast.
Hot tub stream.
So uncomfortable. But there were these like, I don't know if they're called like sand dunes, just these like little patches of sand that we ended up like.
Like a sandbar.
Sandbar, there it is. Like rowing to. We had to empty our canoe because it was just getting full of water, and we're gonna capsize. Like it just was. At one point, we were under the canoe, like trying to wait out the water, and I'm just like, this is an even worse idea.
Right, because now you just like created like a metal like attraction.
Yeah. So the rain lightens up a little bit, so we get back out there. We tip over. I'm like, just leave me here. Like, I give up.
Send the rescue chopper.
Yeah. So, anyways, we once we hit mile 8, someone yells like from way far ahead of us, because they see. I'm pretty sure I'm yelling like, I hate that. Like I was so done. I was so done. And someone yells, we have a mile left. It's just around they like describe. They described the bridge, and then it was like supersonic speed that we're rowing trying to get there. And by the time we get to the end, the rain stops. Of course, you know.
Wonderful story.
And that was over 10 years ago, and I have only been on a canoe one time, and I hated every second of it. Because the whole time I'm just like, I'm shaking because I know like it's gonna rain and I'm gonna die.
Nice.
Yeah, I hate it. And I actually don't, not on purpose. I just don't talk to those girls anymore.
Because of the canoe trip?
Because of the canoe. No.
Shout out to the canoe trip.
Shout out to the canoe trip.
I have 2 canoe stories that I am trying to decide which one to follow up with.
I've never been on a
Just
canoe.
one.
Never?
I don't think so.
I don't recommend.
Yeah, shocking.
It's just like, I guess it's fun for some, but
I enjoy canoeing.
Kind of stressful.
That doesn't surprise me, and that doesn't surprise me. So
It's stressful because like any slight move you make, like you're adjusting your seat, it's like you're gonna fall over.
Yeah, maybe a
I
little
mean, I've
bit.
been like in bass boats and like speed boats and whatnot, but I've never been in a canoe.
Yeah, very different.
Very different,
than a
I would
boat. Than like a
It's a
full boat.
little different.
Right.
Right.
Just
Senior year of high school, we went to youth camp, and at this youth camp, there was a canoe racing tournament. And it wasn't like a speed trial. It was like you actually are in a canoe next to your competitor, and you have to race around a bunch of cones in the pond, in the lake. They called it lake. It was not a big lake. You had to race around them and get back first, right? So go ahead and just spoil the ending right
Sounds
now.
like a bad idea.
Tyler and I won the championship that summer. And it was mostly my efforts.
I'm not surprised because in a competition, Reid's like, we're winning or I'm not doing this.
I was like super competitive. And so like there was only one other like tandem that we were kind of worried about. And it was these 2 twin girls. And they like talked about how like they were just talking to other teams. And they're like, yeah, we canoe all the time. We do competitions and stuff. And so we were like, oh, they might actually be pretty good.
Shoot.
And so we get matched up against them like in the semifinals, I think. We're like, okay, so this is the one. We have to win this one. And so the way it starts is you are on the shore, and the person who's in the back is like the power. Like you're doing most of the power. The person in the front's supposed to kind of steer you. The person in the back has to push off from land, jump into the canoe, and then you get started. So we're sitting on the shore, and they blow the whistle, and I push off as hard as I can. And this is like at my peak. Like I've been playing football.
Peak athleticism.
Right. This is like the most athletic I've been in my life. I shove off, and we're like 20 feet into the water, and I threw like the canoe forward so hard that Tyler fell backwards out of his seat onto the bottom of the canoe. And he's like on the ground. He's like covered in water now. And he's like trying to get back up as I'm just powering us through the race. At one point, we just like our canoe with the other, like with the girls' canoe, and these girls are like, they've got like this like form, like they're both not sitting on the seats, they're like kneeling and like stroking in unison, like they've got form
They've
going
got it
in,
figured out.
right? And Tyler
There's
and
just
I,
raw power and
I'm
hatred in your eyes.
I'm pushing my canoe, like my paddle, as deep as I can go. Like my left hand is like going into the water as I'm scooping
Meanwhile,
water.
Tyler's like trying to get up.
He's
still.
just trying to steer us a little bit. At one point, I accidentally like shoved my canoe too far on the right side and lost it in the water. And so I'm like, Tyler, grab my canoe or grab my paddle, because it was in front of him. And so I told him I lost it, and so I'm like reaching out to grab it, and I'm like about to tip the canoe, and if you tip the canoe, you're disqualified.
Right.
And so Tyler throws himself the other direction. And he almost lost his paddle on the other side as I grabbed mine, so we were almost down to one paddle. And so I'm powered through. At one point, like we're neck and neck with these girls, and we just collided. So like I'm in the back stroking on the right side as hard as I can. The girl in the back is stroking on the left side as hard as she can. The other girl and Tyler, they can't stroke on the opposite side because we're just like colliding and we need to turn. And so they're just kind of sitting there, just like chatting. And I'm like, Tyler, I yell at him, I'm like, get your head in the game. And so yeah, we eventually wound up beating them out because we hit like a long stretch where we could just like really power through, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I love canoeing, and we won.
Wow.
Our team name was Team F-Rod because when I signed us up for the competition, I wrote Reid F as like the team. You know, I was the one who was signing our team up, so I wrote Reid F, and so they put it in there as F.Rod. We don't know why. So that just became our team name for a lot of stuff.
It's kind of funny.
So we were just Team F-Rod. And then we went up to receive our our winners shirts because they gave out shirts to people who won competitions throughout the week. And they're like, Team F-Rod, come up here. And so we were going to get our T-shirt. And we're at a church camp, right? And he's like, man, how'd y'all come up with that name? And I was about to tell him, he's like, actually, I don't want to know. See you later.
Good for him.
So I was like, oh, I get it. Okay. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I enjoy canoeing. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, Jonathan, if you ever go canoeing, please vlog the whole thing.
Right.
Okay.
We should go canoeing sometime. We should enter a canoeing competition.
I've heard worse ideas.
I will make a sign that says F-Rod, F-Rod, F-Rod.
We're going to come up with a new team name, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a winning name.
F-Ram. Because he's J-Ram, right?
Yeah, yeah.
F-Rod, J-Ram,
F-Ram.
J-Rod. No, I hate that.
Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Well, you'll workshop that and then let us know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
So, Jonathan, before we... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, final thoughts?
Wow.
Jonathan,
Okay.
before... Okay, I'm just going to sit back. Go ahead.
God.
Got ear hold.
So much fun to do.
hate having it done. Jonathan,
Yes,
your final moments on the pod for now.
for now.
What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that this has been a fun new thing every week, every 2 weeks that we do, and I've thoroughly enjoyed hanging out. And if you really enjoyed the baseball talk, you should follow me on Instagram at coach_JRAM, JRAM. And on that note, there's another sports podcast that has been birthed from this experience. Yes, I chose my words very specifically for you, Liz.
Weird. Last week, you guys matched online, and wow. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry. Ooh, I really took it there, all the way there.
Okay.
So birthing over here.
So we birthed the sports podcast.
Not
called-
we, Jonathan
And his pals.
I did.
and his pals.
Former players of mine up in Texarkana when I was living up there and coaching up there for 3 years. And it is Swing for Contact, all one word on Instagram. You can also type in as at sfc_media and find us that way. We are on, obviously, Instagram for social media and Twitter. We are on YouTube, and then we are also in the audio realm on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. So if you really enjoyed some of the baseball information and the contract and spring training talk, come find me on that.
Sweet.
Nice.
So thanks for being with us. Thanks for holding the fort down. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Where's my boat
Your boat?
for the funeral?
Oh, I'll put it in post.
Okay.
We'll see y'all next time with Efren, maybe.
Keepers! See you soon, buddy.